Hey Zips fans, Spencer German of the Zips Digital Network here at InfoCision Stadium following another day of practice for the Zips football team as they are 1 week closer to the start of the 2020 season. Had a chance today to catch up with offensive coordinator Tommy Zagorski as well as senior center Bryce Petersen and sophomore cornerback Randy Cochran Jr.
It's rewarding. You know, the thing that we live for is game day. We live for practice. You know, football season's limited. We work all year round for these 3 months that are so special. To have those taken and then have them come back, the way our guys have rallied, the way they've responded, the way they've been embracing, you know, Coach Mack in the weight room, the way that they've been coming in early every day, doing our meetings. It's fun. It's football. It's fall weather here in Northeast Ohio. It doesn't get better than that.
Obviously, every year comes with changes in personnel. Who are some of the new faces in your O-line group that fans should maybe start to get familiar with?
Well, I was joking the other day. Someone asked me about the O-line room. I said, I only have 2 guys I think they can legally buy beer in the state of Ohio right now. It's a young group. It's a hungry group. Some guys that have had some experience in the past, but really a lot of new faces. Xavier Gray played a lot for us last year. He's playing right now. Bryce Petersen's back his 3rd year with us. He's having a really, really good camp to start off. And then we've got our young guys. You know, you're looking at the Owen Murphys, the Jordan Daniels, Ryan Beckman, you know, Nate Williams, Ronan Chambers. You know, these guys are playing really, really good football right now. It's exciting to see them and really add that depth and that value for us, especially early.
Obviously, year one last year, you guys did a lot of teaching, trying to get everybody on board with your offense and what you were trying to do as a team. With a weird offseason, it made it a little harder to kind of get ready for this year. But how do you feel about where the offense is headed so far, and what can fans kind of expect on that side of the ball this year?
Outstanding. You know, adapt, adjust, and overcome. I mean, that's exactly what we've done as a unit. You know, when this starting happened in March and it started and we got sent home, it was the unknown. And our guys embraced it. Staring at a computer screen for hours on end, that's really hard. It's really hard to do, but it took discipline. And when our guys came back, now they're actually physically doing it, the kinetic aspect of the football game. And getting into that, it's really exciting to see. So our guys have been doing it. We're doing a good job of mirroring up stuff that we've done in the past, as well as stuff that we worked on. You got a lot of time to watch a lot of film, and you sometimes get a little too excited as a coach with a lot of stuff going on. But we've kind of brought this down, condensed it down for this training camp to be a more productive offense, a more rounded offense, and a better zip offense.
1 week into practice, how do you feel it's gone so far, having a long period where you guys weren't able to kind of get on the field?
It's definitely rusty at first, definitely knocking off a lot of rust, and it's crazy that, you know, usually we go right from the fall right into the spring and usually have like a couple months off in between, but to go from, you know, the last time any of us really played football was against Ohio at the end of the year last year. So it's been it's definitely been more of an adjustment period than usual, but I think we're doing good. Everybody's out here flying around, having fun, so I think it's going really well so far.
I know Coach Z is really big into team building and relationship development. Just within the O-line, how has that been harder as a group with the layoff and the stoppage you guys had? And then what were some of the ways that he kind of kept you guys interacting and, you know, building those relationships during that time?
Yeah, it was definitely unique. I mean, for me personally, I was all the way back at home in California, and most everybody else out here in Ohio. But, you know, we were really able to stay in touch. I mean, we were meeting on Zoom every morning, and, you know, obviously all of us, we talk on text and on the phone. So we were really able to kind of, in a way, build even though we were apart. So, but it was definitely a lot different. You know, there were a lot of guys that we left in March. I didn't see those guys again until July, so it's definitely a lot different than we're used to, but I guess that's this year for everybody.
Entering your senior season, obviously last year you guys didn't get the results you wanted on the field, but everything's a learning experience. So what, as you go into your senior year, what can you sort of look back and take away from last season that you learned?
It's a tough one. Well, definitely, I just think coming back in the second year, and obviously a first year is hard for everybody. You know, you look around the country, a lot of times when the first-year coach comes in, it's different because you're changing everything from the playbook to just the overall culture and vibe of the program. So I think the biggest thing from last year was honestly all the young players that we had play and getting them that experience. I'm really excited to watch those guys that played last year for the first time and already seeing how much they've improved just in the first few days of practice is really exciting.
I know Coach mentioned how young your guys' group is. So as a senior, what kind of leadership role have you taken on with your linemen, comrades, and just with the offense as well as a whole?
Yeah, well, it's definitely for me a really unique position to be the only senior on the O-line. And like right now, I'm playing in between 4 guys that are redshirt freshmen, and Most of them haven't had any real snaps, so it's definitely a challenge I've taken upon myself to really be there for those guys and just overall staying positive and really kind of sitting here and remembering back when I was that age and when I was making those mistakes that young players make, and really just trying to be there for them in any way possible. And I wouldn't necessarily want to say like another coach on the field, but being in there, coaching them up in the huddle. And so it's been really cool, and it's been a fun experience for me. And I'm really excited to watch those guys and to get a couple years playing with them. And it'll be cool because I think they're going to be such a great group that when I'm, a few years removed from playing football, that I can still watch these games, and just to know that if I had any part in helping those guys, that all mean a lot to me.
Obviously, during the shutdown, tough to stay in shape, tough to work out when you're not able to sort of come here and do stuff. What were some of the ways that you went about working out and keeping yourself healthy?
Well, coming into the quarantine, I knew I wanted to better myself, so I just had to focus on staying consistent and focusing on the little things that make myself better as a player and a person.
Entering your sophomore season, and obviously last year you guys didn't get the results you wanted on the field, but everything's a learning experience. So what's your biggest takeaway last season that you've sort of been able to learn from?
I think playing with confidence for me is going to be the biggest thing this season. I'm starting to get a little bit more aware about the defense and the route concepts, all that good stuff. So I think, confidence is going to be a big factor for me.
On an individual level, you were obviously thrown to the fire pretty quickly. You got a lot of playing time last year, I know. Just what were some things that you learned out in the field from a playing standpoint that you're able to now take and build on this year?
Well, just diving into the playbook, that makes the game a lot more slower. And as you get more experience, the game starts getting a little bit more easier for you. So you're able to make more plays, that type of stuff.
Coach R said he's really looking forward during this next month of just how the defensive back positions sort of form and who sort of fits into what role. So my question to you is just what's that competition like within that defensive back group? How much are you guys sort of, playing off of each other, but then also communicating and doing the right things out on the field?
Oh yeah, we got a good little competition room. We all have our set things that we do well, and I think the big thing is we're able to learn off each other and to play as one group instead of trying to be individuals.
Be sure to tune into radio 640 WHLO tomorrow night to hear from Coach Arth from 6 to 7 p.m. on Zips Live, presented by the Spaghetti Warehouse. Also stay tuned for the release of the Zips 2020 football schedule later today over at GoZips.com. Thanks as always for watching, and go Zips.